What's going on? Hope you guys had a good week full of writing. I don't want to make you guys get too much work because it's kind of ridiculous, So we want to make sure that you guys are on point before we ever get into this stuff. So if you haven't seen me before, I'm Manuel Godoy from Black Sands Entertainment. And today we're going to be talking about media outreach. Why? Because at this point you kind of have an identity. Your story has an identity. You've written quite a bit already. At this point you need to start reaching out to people, right? And maybe you want to reach out to bloggers. Maybe you want to reach out to social media sites or something like that. But you know, you don't know how. That's what this class is about. It's about media outreach. All right, that's what it's going to be. I'm gonna wait for the room to fill up before I begin. But in the meantime, how you guys doing? Tell me something. Tell me something about this week, your experience. What's up, Ryan Anderson? Oh man, Edwin, man, what happened, bro? That sucks. R Square Games was good. Yep, so that's basically what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going on media outreach. There's a couple of things that I'm going to be doing this month. So before we begin this class, I think Actually, I'll do it afterwards. After I'm done with the class, I'm going to talk about uh, some of the things that Black Sands Entertainment is actually doing, right? Because that's pretty much what you can expect, right? What can you expect from us in the next month, right? So let's start that off with media outreach. All right, so this class is going to be interesting because basically what we're trying to do is get you prepared to reach out to the media because that's how you're going to sell books. You're not going to sell books by spending a crap load of cash at first. That's because you don't really have it, right? So you got to be able to get free press. And free press is out there. People say, "Oh, how do you get free press? How do you get people to write articles about you?" There's actually a proven method for that. One is the press release, right? You put a press release out there, and it gets picked up by maybe a couple of brands and what's it called, and you're good to go, right? They're gonna go and write stories about you. But another way to get press is to also submit as a contributor to websites that fit your niche. All right, so if you're uh, if you're a female, the best bet would be to try to hit up companies like Blavity, Afropunk, other, things that are female oriented. The Shade Room, although the Shade Room is really hard to get into because they're super big, but other ones are pretty good, and basically by creating a press release, you can basically have the tools needed in order to succeed. So first things first, let's go and get this. I'm gonna get these pulled up so I can show you what a press release looks like, right? And then we'll begin with that. Okay. So let's see. Where's my press release? I'm gonna use a recent one. Let's see. 10K press release 10K. All right. So I'm gonna pull this up, and then you guys will be able to see it, and we'll go through it. All right. Yes, local newspapers is always the best option, although most likely they will not cover you for simply releasing a book, right? Unless it's done. Once it's done, they will release it. But like news, like, hey, I'm making this book, they won't really care about that unless it's a really good like idea that's fitting the time period. So let's say you're writing a story about love and it's Valentine's Day, right? They might cover you because of that. Let's say you're doing a scary story around Halloween, right? They might cover that. They might cover that story in their news feed. All right, so Definitely local papers, but make sure it's themed to whatever the hell they're going to be writing stories about anyway. Okay? So let's go and look at this real quick, right? And let me see if I can redact this real quick. Tools. What's my redact button? Redact. So let's see right here. Boom. Uh, mark for redaction. Mark for redaction. Apply. There we go. All right. So now I got it on there. Let's go talk to him. Okay. So here you go. I'm gonna pull this up on the screen right now, and you can check it out. Let's see. All right. So first things first, we're going to be looking at this right here. This is my press release right here. I'll make it bigger so you guys can see it. Well, basically, what you're looking at is let's make this wider so we can see the whole thing. All right. So this is how my press release is usually created, right? Military veterans Manuel and Giselle Godoy, the publishers of Black Sands Entertainment, celebrate milestone of 10,000 comics and children's books sold in the first 120 days. All right, and then it says the location, time, date, whatever, right? And it says Black Sands Entertainment is an African American owned and operated comic and children's book publisher created by military veterans and husband and wife team Manuel Giselle Godoy. Nationally released in 2017, the comic book series Kids to Kings, Rumble and Kerma Part 1 and 2, Novella Sons of Nibiru, and children's book Maury's Family Adventure, blah, 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 blah. Right? So you're giving people all the information they need to know about your company in the first paragraph. Your second paragraph should be about your accolades, right? Wait a second, let me turn that off. I still got redaction mode on. Mm, Control Z. All right. So, so the second paragraph, right? And you're looking at the second paragraph, you're gonna see that it has a lot of achievements. So it's like voted the fourth best indie comic of 2017. Uh, he said was awarded in a Just for Shorts Film Festival. Other things, all types of achievements, what we're compared to, blah, 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 right? These are the things that make them interested, right? So the first one is, who the hell are you? Second one is, why should we care? And then the third one is, what's actually going on? So after you're done with your who are you? Why should we care? The next one is what we should do, right? And you're trying to tell people what they should do. So you have to do it sneakily. You can't do it like I wrote this piece just so you could donate to me. Instead, you say it like this: Manuel began working on Black Sands: Legend of Kemet, a visual novel based on ancient Egyptian mythology, in 2014. In late 2015, he tried to bring Black Sands to market, but failed miserably in his Kickstarter campaign. After a major design and marketing overhaul, he relaunched with giveaways and another Kickstarter. The Kickstarter exceeded his 4K goal and produced nearly 20K. The company is releasing new comics in 2018 and making appearances at comic festivals and community events nationwide. If people want to support their upcoming Kickstarter to make a film, they can text DVD to 555888 to automatically be added to their text message campaign. BlackSandsEntertainment.com. Do you see that right there? You see how we at the very last sentence I have a call to action, and it's not even a call to action. It's like a passive call to action. Like, if you like what they've done so far, right? You might want to go and support them in their campaign. The one where I raised $64,000 in order to make my DVD. This is one of the ways in which I got some traction over there. All right, so let's go and discuss that. Turn this off, and we're here. All right, so after I explained the um, the media outreach thing, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about press releases? Do you feel like you understand press releases a little more now? First, you gotta say is who I am, right? And make sure that whatever defining attributes about you is in the who I am area. So you're a husband and wife team, minority owned, women owned, veteran owned or service disabled veteran owned, disabled or freaking special needs. Anything that you have to say that basically makes you seem different from everybody else, right? You put that in your first paragraph, right? The who are we. The next one is why do we care? Your accolades. What have you done? What epiphany have you had? What need have you seen in the community that you're trying to address right now with your thing? That's the second paragraph. Third paragraph is uh, basically a call to action, but in a light way. Because if you make it too bold, then people like Afropunk, people like Blavity and stuff like that, they won't accept it 100% because it sounds more like a sales pitch instead of something that's an interesting story for their readers. You understand? So you have to make it very soft. Now these articles, when they do post them, they can be seen thousands of times. So it's very important to get those thousands of free views, as opposed to trying to make it so salesy that they never gets picked up. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you don't have attributes that correlate with your book, I really don't know what to say at that point. You better figure out the ways to make some up. You better figure out ways to explain how your experiences came to this. You have to build that. That's part of your pitch. Why people should listen to you. It was a million times I get asked, "Why did you write about this?" and what made you get into telling stories like this? They always ask me that all the time. And I have to tell them basically my origin story, why I am the way I am, right? It has nothing to do with my achievements. It has nothing to do with my work ethic. It has everything to do with the fact that I'm a big nerd for ancient cultures in general. And I want to tell my version of the story. So if that's something that you have to use as your hook, saying, "Hey, I just you said I've always loved these particular stories, and I felt like I could tell one's better than X, Y, and Z," and then they might be intrigued. So basically, when you're doing accolades, right? Sometimes if you have no accolades at all, you can always do your social accolades. So social accolades is like this, right? Uh, the varsity of the high school football team, the freaking champion chess player, or the freaking the employee of the year at X, Y, and Z, and then I finally quit my job because I'm pursuing this. Stuff like that. It doesn't have to be directly correlated to your book. It's life achievements. If you can't give book related achievements, get life achievements. So anything. It could be simply mother of four. Mother of four is an achievement. You can say that. You'd be like, look, I'm a mother of four, right? I'm a mother of four kids. That's why I'm qualified to tell this story. You never know. But it's pretty simple. So let's see what else. All right, so that's what's up, right? Now let's go into the websites, right? Where do we submit these stories, right? You can actually pay to have your press release like sent out to a whole bunch of different people, right? There's services out there where you put your press release up, and then people are looking for stories. They'll go and look over there. However, I think that we should. I'm gonna show you something that's even easier than that. All right. I can guarantee you, almost all of you can get at least one story in Afropunk. But make sure that when you put your story in for Afropunk, they don't do stories more than once most of the time. But if you put your story in for Afropunk, you make sure, 100% make sure that you're doing it at a time in which you can sell books or raise money for books. You don't do it when you don't got anything to sell. All right, because you just wasted your prime placement. You totally wasted it. You squandered it if you don't have anything to do there. I'll give you a good example. I saw a Kickstarter last year of this animation team. They had hardcore press coverage about their story or what they were making. They were making an animation for some disabled kids, right? It was a pretty cool idea, great concept, and a lot of companies ran with it. Like Now This, all those huge major brands on Facebook ran with that story. Guess what though? He didn't have a Kickstarter yet. He didn't have a Kickstarter yet. He didn't have a store to buy stuff or pre-order anything. This dude had close to 10 million views across all platforms. 10 million views on his project. All right? He had 10 million views on his project. You know what happened? He launched his Kickstarter about 3 weeks later, after the story already was out there, after it already happened, right? And he's like, "Hey, I got 10 million views on my videos. I'm gonna be able to raise crazy amount of money." Dude raised like $10,000, man. If he had had a Kickstarter during the time where everybody was pushing them, he could have raised close to $200,000 guaranteed. But because he basically sent out press releases before he was ready to actually do something or give people a call to action, all it was a clap moment, like, "Oh, that's so nice, that's cool, I can't wait to see it." And then 3 weeks later, they're talking about the Super Bowl or they're talking about something completely else, and they don't give a damn about your project anymore. And it doesn't matter if it's cool now or it's cool then, it's the moment. You don't want to squander a moment. You better be prepared for the flood if you start sending out press releases, okay? So let's go look at some of the places you could submit your press release. First things first. Boom. So we're back on here, right? Let's go look at this. And all right. So I'm sure you guys can see this right here. Let's see. Make sure. Yep. So Afropunk. All right. Afropunk is a great website for submissions. All right. Now, what it says is afropunk.com, become a contributor. Basically, most of these newspaper websites that are on social media have ways for you to submit stories to them. All right. So Afropunk is one of them. Right. And it's basically this is what they say. He said, since day one, Afropunk has been a community's megaphone. Your voice is our voice. Afropunk is just an amplifier. Now we invite you, the members of Afropunk community, to broadcast who you are and show off what you do by becoming contributors to the new Afropunk.com. Do you want to share a story what Afropunk should do or write that story? Do you want to share your music? Do you want to submit videos of photographers who you think Afropunk should feature? All types of stuff that you can submit on here, right? And basically it says like this: your name, your email, your category, right? So you say, what's your category? Is it news? Is it art, fashion, health, music, politics, race, gender, right? And then what media does your pitch include? Does it include music, videos, text, or photos? And then put all that stuff right there in this area right here. If you have a press release or if you have a pre-made statement that you know is fire and know will get you a placement, you just paste it right there into this area where it says pitch us here. Hit submit, and I guarantee you, most of the time, these cats, if you do a really good press release, they'll post it on Facebook, they'll post it on Instagram, they'll post it around because that's how they survive. They post content from a whole bunch of different contributors. You know what I'm saying? And there's other places too that you can get your stuff done to. You will be approached. You will be approached by publicists. All right. Don't pay publicists. All right. Publicists are trash. Don't don't go ahead and do that. Do it yourself. Go to places and place your story yourself. You don't need anybody else to do it. It's very important that you do it yourself. And the reason why is because basically we're caught in a situation where we have to be able to provide for ourselves early. We don't have the money, we don't have the resources, right? But people are always going to assume that they could take their money from you, right? So even if you have like only $100, right, they're going to be like, well, you could just take a loan to give me the $1,000 to go and put your story in this place, that place, and the other. So you have to watch out for that. Additionally, you also want to do paid placements. All right, so let me show you something. All right, I'm gonna show you a place that you can do paid placements. Let's see. Let's see. Shade Room placements. Uh, let's see if I can find it here. Shade Room paid placement. All right, there you go. So look at this. So advertising with the Shade Room will boost your brand's reach, engagement, and bottom line. Now I'm telling you like this: don't go with the Shade Room right away. All right, they're extremely expensive. All right, because they're huge. They have a huge following. So don't go and pay for them right away. However, with that being said, right, they are open for negotiations and they will look at your stuff. But there's other brands out there that will also pay for placements, all right? You have to basically figure out what you're going to do, right, in order to get your sales out there, right? How you gonna make your sales? How are you gonna get your story in front of the most people? Sometimes if a brand reaches lines up with you, like let's say the Shade Room's great for millennial women, right? If you're a millennial woman and your story is catered to millennial women, then the Shade Room might be perfect as a place to go and get you a strong following early. One thing I learned about the Shade Room post is if you can make it messy, right? So if you can make a messy post that's going to get a lot of comments and then have the call to action be follow my Instagram page, believe it or not, you might get a huge flood of real followers from that freaking Shade Room post. Like a flood, like thousands and thousands and thousands of followers that are real, not bullshit followers, you know? And that can significantly help your initial growth, you know, as a company. But only if you have the money to do it. These people are going to try to highball you and say, hey, you got to pay X, Y, and Z, but you can haggle them down. You can haggle anyone down who charges for placements, all right? And influencers, just like this one, are great places to look at. All right. Now let's go back to the classroom. Boop. All right. Nandi, should we follow all followers back? Absolutely not. 100% not. Basically, your follower count is kind of a way of them showing it whether you're important or you're trash. All right. So somebody who has like a 10,000 people they're following, right, and 500 followers, right? Nobody likes that person. They're like, it's not a person. They're fishing for followers. So basically, what you want to do is keep your following count low. Now, I still have thousands of people that I follow. That's because at the beginning I kept doing that game to go and get followers at first. But I realized that that was basically a trash way to start your company. You need to get placements. You get placements, you can have damn near no followers. Like you have uh no people at all that you're following, you know? You want to keep it down to like 100 to 200 people that you really care about that you're following. Don't follow, you know, like freaking thousands of people, you know? Of course Afropunk does stories on books for toddlers because there's a lot of moms looking at Afropunk, right? Eccentric moms, like super liberal moms, but they damn sure have kids. Okay, okay. Any other questions? Any other questions about this class? Anything else about like media outreach? If you have any questions at all, please just let me know, and I'll reference them here. By the way, make sure to tell me in the comments section what your word count is. Just throw it up. Throw up your word count just so I can see it. That way I can keep track of everybody, right? And if anybody's falling short, let me know. Orlandis is putting some work, man. 35,000, that's a lot. Cat, it's all good. Just keep focused, keep going. You'll be fine. Shamaki Ali, you missed 6 weeks of classes. Uh, there's a playlist. There's a playlist on YouTube, right? There's a playlist right now on our page. Just go to that after this class and basically start from the beginning. Start from the beginning and watch it. It's a crap load of hours of content, right? But each class has a completely different theme to it, right? The first 2 weeks are about making your story, right? How to properly make it, how to properly make the decisions for how you're going to make your story. And then the rest of them about marketing, growth, what's it called? All these things that you'll need to know that are on the business side of it. What websites are good for black science fiction geeks? I really don't know. All I can say is this: there's a lot of black science fiction geeks in all of the black platforms. So you just have to figure out a way to message it, right, where it also fits their narrative. So let's say this, right? Let's say you're trying to pitch urban intellectuals, right? Urban intellectuals about black excellence. Any kind of black excellence out there, things that black achievements, stuff like that. So instead of talking about your geeky story, you talk about how the character basically explores the way an inventor, right, or the way astronomer, tries to find new things, similar to this historical black person who actually did this thing in real life, similar to the story that you're writing. And now you have a hook for them because they write about black excellence and they want to talk about a historical figure and then tie it to your story as well. That's a great way for them to go and knock out two birds with one stone. All right? So that's how we play the game. Whatever they like the most, we tie that into the pitch. Black, why are you walking in my background? Huh? Everybody looking back there like what kind of cat is that? You just gonna walk in my background like that, man? Hmm? Hmm? I'm talking to you. You just gonna look at me. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay, you don't want to come here. Brown, come here. You understand getting picked up. All right. All right. So I got one dog because Black is trolling me. So we got Brown. What's up, Brown? Do you see yourself? Look, it's Brown. Look. Look. There we go. I'll hold her up. That way she can be seen. So yeah, sorry, I saw a dog come into my screen. I was like, man, what's going on with that mess? All right, so let's see. We got some people that are struggling to get off the ground a little bit, a little over 5,000, a little over 3,000, but that's fine. Just make sure to get it out there. Especially if you're doing a comic book, you don't have to worry so much about word count, right? So your word count don't really have to be that high for a comic book. But if you're making a novel, you need to be going fast. So try to get them up there, man. I want to see a whole bunch of people finish their book by the end of the course in order for me to basically pick winners. Additionally, I want to talk about the news. All right, so let's talk about what's going to be happening in the next uh, in the next month. All right. So the month of March for Black Sands Entertainment. We're gonna be going to C2E2 in Chicago this year. All right. We're gonna be there. I think the 22nd to the 24th. That is the third week of March. All right. So that's where we're gonna be. We're gonna be in Chicago. If you're from that region, definitely come out and show up and hang out with us, take some pictures, do all that cool stuff. Additionally, we're going to start a Kickstarter in the middle of March, all right? And I hope all of you guys here are going to be our first responders, all right? Because we have some special perks for people who back on the very first day of our campaign, all right? This is going to be a Kickstarter for Black Sands, the first Pharaoh, right? It's going to be about Ra. So this is a completely different storyline. It's in the past. It's not from the the main Black Sands universe story, and it's just dope. And I know everybody's gonna love that thing when it actually comes out. We also are going to be finishing up the comic Cosmic Girls. So you guys never seen that before. We're paying for that directly, right? Cosmic Girls. However, we might do some pre-orders around the end of March. We'll start doing pre-orders of that. That's for the girls aged 9 through 12. Although I'm sure everybody will like it, it's intended for girls from 9 to 12. And then Giselle is going to premiere her new comic series, Eniola. Eniola is a hardcore badass woman. It's a story for young adult females, right? About this female martial artist in modern day New York, right? Basically proving herself among all these people out here and then traveling to Africa. It gets kind of crazy. I ain't going to tell you about the story right now. I'm not going to hit you with the pitch. I'm simply going to say it's going to blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up with that. All right. So that's our news for this month, right? Our students are doing well. I have 5 students. I'm actually doing business plans for these students. So last month I didn't get a chance to talk to my students that much, the ones that signed up on Patreon, mostly because scheduling issues or whatever. But I gave them a complimentary business plan. So what's going to happen is in a week I'm going to give them all custom business plans for their particular books so that they can actually have a full plan on how they need to go business wise into their company. All right, so that's gonna be a pretty cool resource for them. Uh, Remember, you guys can always submit your writing material to me, and I'll read it. Right, and if I see anything particular that I want to comment about, I'll respond with some comments on your writing. All right, that's the people that's on Patreon. All right, and let's see what else. What else? What else? That's about it. That's all I can think of. I really can't think of anything else. Oh, and the FedEx. Yeah, my wife was talking about it in the comments. Let me talk to you right now. If you're a true supporter of Manuel Godoy and Giselle Godoy of Black Sands, I need you to put some manpower in. All right. My wife already gave the link. She can give the link again. But basically, what you got to do is go to FedEx Grant Fund for our company, right? And vote for us. It doesn't cost anything, it's just you voting. You can vote once every single day for the next 30 days. April 1st is when the voting ends, all right? So all you got to do is go on that website once a day at about the same time and say, I'm voting for these people again. I don't know why they set it up where you can vote every single day. Maybe it's a way for them to kind of get certain people to win, right? Right? But that doesn't mean that we can't play the game exactly the way they do. So if you are coming to my classes, if you're writing your 1,000 words, after you write your 1,000 words, just go to the FedEx joint and vote. Vote for us, man. We want to make it on that list so we could do a lot more crazy things out there for you guys, and we greatly appreciate your votes in this competition. All right. So Giselle will leave the link, and then once that's done, I will head out. Giselle, do you have that link? Yep, and basically when you're doing the voting in this system, it's gonna act like you've already voted. Just go back, look for Black Sands Entertainment in the business thing, and then go and vote that way. Okay? Because if you use somebody else's link, most likely it's going to show you their results. All right. All right, guys. So I am out. Thank you so much for your support. Definitely hit me up on Discord if you have any questions. Because I'm not having as much homework as I used to have, I'll be more accessible for direct questions through either Patreon or Discord. All right. And I definitely need you guys for our Kickstarter. So I'm gonna make a mailing list specifically for this book, and I need you guys to sign up for it because it's gonna have special details on that special tier that's only gonna be up for the first 48 hours. It's gonna be a 2-week Kickstarter, all right? Really short. You know, most people do 30-day Kickstarters, but I ain't got time for that crap. I gotta work. So I'm gonna do 2-week Kickstarter. We're gonna raise the money quickly. We're not going to raise that much money. We're just going to make just enough in order to go and make this thing. And we're going to give a couple of character slots as well, so people can put their themselves in the book. You know, so because that's cool. People loved that back in what was it, 2019? 2016, people that funded Kids to Kings, right? They basically bought characters, all right? So we're gonna allow that to happen again in this story, all right? So if you want to go and put your money down and actually get a character in there, we can support you. And you'll be put in the back of the book as that character as well. So everybody knows that that was you in the book, not just some random character from history. All right. So that's what's up. I'll see you guys later. Manuel Cadoy out. Black Sands holding it down.